James Franklin today got hit with an Xbox coordinator special. We talk about the Xbox coordinator on the show sometimes, and that is whether it be your buddy or someone in a chat room, someone on a message board. Do people use chat rooms? I don't think they do. People on message boards, people on call-in shows, they think it's just as easy as what you do on Xbox. And that's the way football games are won. And of course it's not. Our buddy James Franklin up there, head coach at Penn State, he was blindsided today by an Xbox coordinator special, and I am going to do something I rarely do. I'm going to play the whole thing in its entirety. It's a little over a minute, between a minute and 2 minutes long. It just goes downhill quickly, and if you're listening on a podcast, you can feel the energy. It's palpable coming through your speakers. Roll it, Colin.
Is there a balance, though, between, hey, we need you to throw the ball deep no matter, just take a shot. Don't overthink it. Take a shot. We need to see it. We're going to call it. And we need you to get some confidence in doing this, as opposed to even giving a young quarterback the chance to say, hey, just check it down if it's not there.
I don't really understand what you're saying, because we would never, my skin is curling when you say just drop back and chuck it deep no matter what. Like that is like, I don't even know what you're saying. It's like you're speaking like from
just
Mars.
Just send a guy in a post pattern, take the shot, throw it.
No matter what.
Give your receiver a chance to make a play on a ball. Even if he might be covered 30 yards down the field, maybe you think he'll be open 45 yards down the field, and like Godwin did, or with Jahan or KJ.
I still don't, like, you're speaking Japanese. We have never done that. Just throw the ball up and maybe he'll be open and maybe he'll catch. Like, my skin is you're making me uncomfortable. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. So okay. Yeah, we would not do that. We would never do that. We've never thought about doing that as a head coach, as an offensive coordinator, as a receivers coach. When I coached the receivers, I didn't want them to do that. So no, strong no.
Oh, I don't know if you get secondhand embarrassment, but I get enough for all of us. That was Corey Geiger. He's covered Penn State longer than I've been alive. I got no problem with Corey Geiger. I don't want to send a bunch of people his way or anything like that. I got a little chuckle out of that earlier today. I know Franklin meant what he said at the end. Like, he said, oh, I hope this doesn't get out there. I hope this doesn't start circulating, because that's that is like his playoffs moment. That is his you play to win the game moment. That right there is going to be played a decade or two from now. James Franklin may not be at Penn State a decade or two from now. He may have been retired living on a beach somewhere in the Caribbean, but you are going to hear James Franklin say, you're speaking Japanese to me right now. You're making my skin crawl. You are going to hear out of context James Franklin saying, you're making me uncomfortable, for a long time. And I can't help but feel partially responsible. But all's well, okay? James Franklin, good friend of the program. Do you understand how much bigger jerks coaches could be than they are? Let me paint you a picture. You're the head coach at Penn State. You've been there a long time. You're undefeated. You got the most raw talent you've had at quarterback in a long time. You probably got the best team overall you've had in a long time. You are, even though you got UMass this week, I'm going to say this because they can't, you are knee deep in Ohio State prep. I mean, you're coming out of meetings where you're wondering, how will this particular motion work against that defensive personnel grouping? Coach, press conference time. All right, guys, I'll be right back. And you go in your press conference, and some guy just asked you, you ever just think about throwing it deep, coach? And by the way, when you push back on it, he continues. And he says, yeah, just run a little post. And maybe it's not open at 30, but maybe it's open 45 yards down the field. So just have Drew tell the guys, I'm not checking it down. Just if it's not open, just keep running. Just keep running. It works in 8-on-8. Day after Thanksgiving, this works in the backyard. Certainly works on Xbox. Just go route. Just go, guys. Keep running. No, further. And then you have the quarterback throw it. You ever think about that, Coach? Have you considered that? As I have always said, if you will make me a billionaire two things I'll do. Number one, I will buy all the bowl games so we can name them whatever we want. Number two, I will make sure the championship game is played on Monday or Saturday, not Monday. And number three, I will pay coaches enough to where they're willing to come on shows and go face-to-face publicly with fans who question them. Now, this wasn't a fan, and I'm speaking a little tongue-in-cheek here, but I would love for you to actually see interactions where you publicly question play calling, personnel decisions, etc., with real coordinators and real coaches. I don't care if it's college. I don't care if it's NIL or NIL. What in the world am I talking about? I don't care if it's college or pro. I just want to see it. I want to see it because here's what I have been privy to. I have taken some comments that are made in our comment section on videos on our channel. And if I've been in the presence of coordinators or position coaches or head coaches, in a couple of cases I've done this with head coaches, I've just shown them. And I've said, all right, you're off the record. We're not rolling right now. What would your actual response be to this? If I could go on the record with those replies, we would have the number one hit show on any streaming platform. And I don't even care if you don't like football. You would watch this. You would absolutely watch this. Coaches are so nice. Like Franklin, even there, he was so nice in comparison to what he could have done. Let me explain something. And I'm not pretending to be an expert here on the intricacies of the Penn State offense, but just in general in football, not all teams need to be all things at all times. Penn State suffocates you defensively. Penn State can probably run the ball still even better than they have. In fact, I'm sure they could run the ball better than they have. Penn State does not need to be throwing the ball deep right now. And I know that if you watch them right now, you would like to possess that in your arsenal. But football is not a thing where we've done it in practice and it's not working. Let's just go try it in games. Let's just see if it works there. It's kind of like if you got a guy who's got the drops, he's got an issue with catching the football, and he does it in practice, like he fumbles the ball, drops the ball in practice. You don't gather as a staff and say, let's play him in the game on Saturday. Maybe he'll figure out how to catch it there. It's the reverse. It's the opposite, actually. You make sure you figure it out till you can't get it wrong in practice, then I'll put you in the game. I've got a wild theory that maybe the downfield passing game isn't where they want it to be in practice, and that's why you don't see it on Saturday. Or maybe it is, and they haven't felt the need to do it in a game because the situation hasn't warranted it. One of the two is probably likely. But I will tell you what I don't think is going to happen. And I think we got James Franklin backing us up on the record. I don't think that at any point there will be a huddle broken where Drew Aller is told, just throw it deep no matter what. I'm gathering that is not in the cards up there.